Wait, is this thing on? Oh, whoa, hey. Well, I'm your host, Jay Lugo. So, try to switch it up. I've been doing these lives, and they have not been getting a lot of view, a lot of traction. So, um, today we're gonna talk about my instrument add-on, how that's going. So recently, I figured out I'm like things have been really, really slow with the helicopter instructing side. So, and I've tried to complete my instrument a few times in the airplane and it just hasn't panned out. So, I went out, I found a flight school. It took about a minute to get everything kind of going like I wanted to. I thought I could just kind of waltz in there and within a day or two I could be flying, but actually it took about a week, which, hey, that's not terrible timing, but it was just a very, I don't know, normally things kind of move faster, but whatever, that's just the way they do it. But finally, after about a week and making the phone calls and just kind of juggling around, could have been 2 weeks actually, we finally got it down to where I was going to meet my instructor and just get back in the plane. And real shortly, I'll tell you how that all kind of worked out. Yeah, so I go in there and I meet my instructor. He happens to be a young man. I guess he's from the Midwest. And, I couldn't ask for more. He's been instructing for about 5 years. He's got 3,000 hours, so he's pretty sharp. Even though he's a young guy, he's got a lot of hours, a lot of passes, a lot of experience. So we go off, and boy, I was really surprised. All we were doing is just that BAI, the basic attitude instrument stuff. Climbs, turns, things like that. Trying to get into the correct course, correct altitudes, and all those skills that quickly diminish. Oh my God, the first flight, I'm like, do I even have this rating in helicopters? Now, granted, I did this rating about 4 years ago, so I'm not, by no means am I proficient or current. So it took a little bit, but by the second flight, I felt that that there was definitely some improvement there. I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit liver on the radio. I'm setting up. We're using the G5, so I'm setting up those altitudes and those courses when the instructor tells me to. And so, I did see the improvement. So, in the next segment here, I'll tell you what happened on the latest flight and why I'm kind of a little bit discouraged, but must truck forward, right? Like I said, there was it. I initially said a week, more like two and a half weeks, right? Until we got this all set up. From the time I called the flight school, met them in person, told them what I wanted to do, that this was an instrument add-on. I had brought my logbook, this little guy right here, the actual paper one, because as late as when I was in Myrtle Beach, I started pretty much just keeping an electronic logbook, because it's just a lot easier to see. And if I need to print it, I can just go ahead and use the feature. I use my flight book, and I'm also trying to also upload it to ForeFlight. However, it's the main one, the small one is just the first one I had. So anyways, I brought that in, and we're kind of going through it and then just trying to figure out what the requirements were. Now, be careful, y'all. If you are doing an instrument add-on, right? A lot of schools will try to tell you that, yeah, well, you have, just because they don't know. and that's just no fault of their own. It's just they don't know. So, but 6165 Part 7, right? Look that up. It will save you some money. Or if you're like me, I have a DP that, I'm pretty, he's a good friend of mine. So I just, sent him a message and I asked him just plainly, hey, what is this? So, and he said, no, that the test was not required. So kind of going back to, I have all my documentation, I have my passport, I had everything, just pretty much just because I've been in the flight school environment from the other side as an instructor, and I watched the owner of the company, everything that he required just to get students in and things like that. So I brought it all, and then for some weird reason, I don't know, they just, I don't, if it was a busy day or what it was, but they just didn't take any of that information down. So I think after the first flight, I felt, I know what it is. So it's almost like it was 10 o'clock. We got done with the lesson, and we're just trying to kind of rush home, because, hey, people just want to go to bed after work, just clean everything up and just head home. And I'm like, hey, man, he doesn't have a card or anything on file, so I just kind of made sure that they had that. And so they could at least bill, However, so to get back into that whole thing, so we only scheduled, when the owner called me for this new company for the instrument add-on, he pretty much just got 3 lessons scheduled. And after that, it was up to me and the instructor to get, the next stuff scheduled. So fast forward to kind of yesterday. So we're flying. We're doing some more of that BAS stuff, which the student me is like, oh, hey, man, when are we going to start doing approaches? But instructor me is probably like, hey, the reason he's doing this is because, like you have not mastered, whatever it is that he's looking for. So until you master it, it just makes no sense to move forward. So it's a lot of pitch, power, trim, and just getting it down, setting the correct, I'm guessing we're sitting there like, okay, so establish a 500 foot descent. So you got to figure out, with your power, obviously you're going to decrease power. You have to use carbide, obviously, because this is an older aircraft. But so doing all those things, smoothly, just building that muscle memory to get back to, I wouldn't even say where I was, because obviously I was flying a helicopter and things in the helicopter world are a bit different. But like I said, I did fly the airplane first. I think I got about 5 hours of this stuff several years back. So I think I got, just coming in here, I got close to 12-13 hours already in the airplane. So I already meet the transition. It's just now we're just going for proficiency, and I've done already like 3 hours with this guy. So anyhow, but my frustration lied in the sense that, okay, so I'm like, hey, man, this time in the afternoon is kind of working for me as far as, the airport. It's a busy airport, but if you go later, then it's not so busy. So I was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's do that. This is working for me right now. So I'm thinking that he's just gonna like look in the schedule and be like, yeah, I got Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. But it just wasn't like that. So I got so and so come back and they want to do some training and yada yada yada. So now I'm like, okay, well, I moved on. I did, all these things. And now I guess it's up to me. I got to do some chair flying. I got to do something to keep that in my mind. Just practice until I actually get scheduled and get back. And that was kind of like my frustration in the sense. And I don't know if it's happened to y'all. So be sure to like comment below. And I don't know how well this is going to do. But whatever. If you're doing your instrument, if you are doing an instrument add-on, if you're interested in airplanes and just are thinking like, oh, okay, I might do this, just kind of keep this in mind, that frequency, meaning like the times that you fly and how available that flight school is to you, that plays a huge role on how your training's gonna go. So definitely keep that in mind. So anyways, I just want to get some feedback on it. If you feel like this is a good video for somebody, go ahead and share it to them, send it to them, what have you. Don't forget, like I always forget on these videos, be sure to just leave a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And really appreciate everything that this community has done, as far as some of the people that we got that engage. You know who y'all are. I'm not gonna try to just remember whoever everybody is, but if you go back down to the very beginnings, there's people that have been with me for ever and a day. But anyways, I just want to get your feedback. Hopefully everybody's doing well, and hopefully everybody is having a good time. I know these are kind of these are challenging times, and I don't do the political thing, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Everything you can see, everything's going up. We're getting less, whatever. It's just challenge time. It doesn't matter who's in the driver's seat. It's not easy, and I'm very cognizant of people out there. So hopefully everybody is doing well. I can obviously use some work, and I've kind of reached out to some people as far as what the things are in the helicopter CFI business. And if you hear of anybody that's wanting to do any type of helicopter stuff, just please keep me in mind. But as always, this has been Jay Lugo for Skybound, signing out. Take care, y'all.